Boy, this is most excellent. I just spent the whole day trading with a whole bunch of people over at Pennybois. Now I get to talk to you about penny stocks. I must be in heaven. I'm John Zidar, aka the Stock Wizard. You can see where that came from. You're watching an episode of On Top and Hot, and today is January 14th. It's Tuesday. Now, what I normally like to do on this show is to talk to you about a hot penny stock. Because I'm a day trader that primarily looks for stocks under $5. I find stocks that have potential to make us money and share them with you. But on Tuesdays, I like to bring you to work. I guess that's an okay way to put it. As I said, I spend my days trading with the public over here at Pennybois Discord. This is a Discord group set up just solely for the purpose of helping people learn how to trade. Whatever it is you trade, expensive stocks, cheap stocks, options, maybe you're an aggressive trader, you're getting in and out real quick, maybe you're a long-term holder, very passive. Whatever it is you're into, we have professionals over here that can help you, that want to help you. And we have a free member page where you can sort of come in and try before you buy. I mean, we got all sorts of free stuff, but yeah, we've got coaches you can rent. You can rent a coach for $40 for 30 days. They will help you personally, teaching you whatever it is you want. But I'm bringing you over here because this is where I spend my day, and this is where I go through a lot of trading activities. We trade halted stocks, we talk about swings, we talk about options, but our primary thing we do over here is scalp. Scalping is getting into a moving stock and getting out real quick and just taking gains. We don't care if we miss the beginning of a run. We're not looking for the cheapest price. And we don't even concern ourselves with how far that stock's going to go. We never look for the ceiling. What we're trying to do is get that meat right in the middle. Forget about the beginning. Forget about the end. Grab the center. It's always there to be taken. That's a probable move, and that's what we shoot for. And the way we do that, and I'm going to cover this real briefly and quick because I want to share a stock with you that's got a great setup for a good play that did not happen today, but I did announce, and I think it's worthy of sharing with you. So what we primarily do, we find a hot stock, we go to that chart, and the first thing we do is to put supports and resistances on that chart. That is those yellow lines I have on my chart here, the horizontal ones. I drew these. I draw these at places on the chart where the price likes to change directions. If the price comes down to $3, hits it and bounces back up, comes down, hits it, bounces back up, I should be paying attention to that. But when I see it coming up underneath and hitting at $3 and coming down and hitting at $3, that $3 is a very curious point. It likes to bounce and change directions there. So we put lines there and we call them supports if the price is on top of it and a resistance if the price is underneath it. Now, if the price is coming up to a resistance, chances are it's going to bump its head and pull down. So we don't get in underneath any of these supports, resistances. We wait until it becomes a support. Once the price gets on top of one of these supports and resistances, now it's more inclined to continue climbing. So we get in where these blue arrows are, just over top of a support. Not on the support, that's where it bounces. We don't want to be there. You want a buffer zone. You want to get up. You know, even if you saw one of these spikes come up over it, you want to get over that spike because it could grab you and pull you right back down. So we put our prices over the supports and over any pokes from any wicks that came up, over top of them. Then we get out underneath the next one up. So if I got in at this bottom blue arrow, I would get out at the first yellow arrow. Now, if this is a strong running stock, there's no reason for me to get out of 100% of my holdings. It's free to sell, so maybe I should sell out in parcels, sell out in chunks. I get in down here, it runs up, we hit my first target, and I say, look at this bad boy. She's still flying. I don't want to sell. Wrong answer. You're talking yourself into more risk. Take your payday, folks. You don't have to sell everything, but sell something here. 20%, 30%, 50%, but sell something. Put some money in your pocket. Let the rest go. You're not losing money. You still got gains that are getting further and further away from your entry. You hit this second target, Sell some more if it still looks strong. You don't have to sell everything. Sell as much as you want, but sell something. The biggest problem with traders is they don't know how to sell. Yes, they know where the sell button is. They can do it, but why don't they? Because they want more. Quit wanting and take what is given, folks. That's how you minimize your risk, by putting money in your pocket so when the chart changes abruptly, you were ahead of the game. And you can still sell as she's falling, but now you've already got some of your profits. It's just a heck of a lot safer to do. So, this is going to kind of be an open forum, right? I mean, I normally have my videos very structured. I am very anal that way. I talk about a stock or I have a trading insight. I've got all my windows laid out. I know exactly what I'm going to talk about and where I'm going. I really don't when I do these Tuesday shows, which is a good thing. Initially, this was hard for me because I didn't know what to talk about. But the fact is, I can talk about whatever I want. And there's a few things I do want to talk to you about outside of what happened here. But I've got things I want to share with you here too. So I have taken some notes here so I didn't forget. I've had people asking me about DJT, Trump Media. Trump Media was really hot the other day. We were watching it over here. It was on our watch list, but she was kicking butt. And her warrant is just ridiculous. Warrants that are normally 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, $1. DJT's warrant was up over $24. I mean, that just blew my mind. Well, somebody asked me a question if I could look into it because they said that Trump was going to be releasing information about UFOs. And it's like, what? That's kind of curious. So I did do some homework. I didn't find anything on UFOs, but I did find information that Trump is going to be releasing information about the mysterious drone sightings over New Jersey and Minnesota, which he claims Biden and his administration have been hiding. That's what he says. So he's going to release that information the day after his inauguration. That'll be January 21st. But I didn't see anything there about UFOs. Now, do I think that's going to help DJT stock? I don't think so, honestly. But you know what? Trump is becoming president. That's the catalyst with DJT. He is the president. He owns over 52% of DJT. And he's going to be bringing all sorts of catalysts. Now, of course, he's going to be bringing change. Change isn't going to be good for everybody. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disruption. And I have no clue what's on his agenda. And he's got one heck of a team behind him there. So we have got a lot to look at. DJT, yes, that's his stock. But I think Trump is going to affect all of the market. We may even see a resurgence in the OTC and get people back in there. Before COVID, when Trump was president, we had 60 to 70 billion shares a day on the OTC market. Now we're lucky if we get 5 billion. Somebody else asked me about AAGC. I looked into AAGC. I did notice they haven't had any news or filings for a couple of months, and their revenues have been growing consecutively. Though they're still very small, they have been growing consecutively. That's really all I could say about that. Now, the other thing we can do, I'm going to jump over to my charts for this. I think we can put up with me in the bottom corner of the chart. Normally I have the window opened up differently, don't I? I wanted to talk to you about quantum. You know, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe not even that long. QBTS. The CEO of NVIDIA came out and said that we are not going to have a practical functioning quantum computer for a couple decades. And that was a punch to the groin that really put quantum on its knees, and it took a big drop. But the truth is that drop came at the same time as all the market was dropping, so it was pretty nicely synchronized. Now, NVIDIA has room to talk because they're invested in quantum. They've got quantum technology as well, so they probably know what they're talking about. Now, just so you don't misunderstand, he is not saying we don't have quantum computers. We do. We have them being used in certain phases, but for any practical applications like we've been talking about for communities and solving problems and all of that grandeur stuff, we're still a long ways from that. Yeah, we've got them, We had computers back in the 50s, but they weren't in our homes until the late 1990s. So we've got a long ways to go with quantum computing. But today, there seemed to have been a resurgence with quantum computing. Now, it was at a breakout point. The price was underneath the 200. The 200 went flat. We normally expect to see a breakout to get up over top of the 200 when it goes flat. And you see a run. And then it started bobbling around here and it took off. Well, to be honest, a lot of charts today were atypical breakout charts. A bunch of them, because for the last 3 days at least, the market has been falling. Now everything's kind of leveled off and it's all starting to come back up. Well, all the MAs have come down and they're right over top of the prices. So everything looks like an atypical breakout, which is truly my favorite breakout chart. I don't normally tell people this, but that's how I started making my videos. My first videos were about stocks that ran today. Well, what are you going to learn from that? The very next day, every stock that I had talked about fell because they were a rocket stock today. They fall tomorrow. And I said, this ain't a good way to get any people to watch your videos. So I had to find a way to be able to predict when a stock was going to climb. And this was 2 years ago. I didn't have as much experience as I have now because I've spent a lot of time looking at charts and a lot of time learning things to help other people learn. Well, I noticed that this atypical breakout is the most common breakout bullish pattern on the charts. And it's so easy to see. And I can go through 500 charts in less than 15 minutes. Believe me, faster than 15 minutes. And I can see an atypical breakout. I can see the price up underneath the 200 with the 200 like right here. Let me show you what I'm particularly looking for. This right here. This would be an atypical breakout. The price is up over top of the 50 right there with the 200 haul underneath and the 200-day MA on top. So you got the price in between both 200s. That's a 200 squeeze. The 200s are the strongest MAs you got out there. Now, when the 200 haul turns blue, there is extra power given to the price to climb. I see it all the time, and that's why I use the 200 haul. Even though it's not a popular MA, it is definitely a strong signal that I see over and over again. And you can see right here, it turned blue and she took off. And that's an atypical breakout when you have the price between the two 200s and it turns blue on the bottom, or whatever color you have yours. It starts to turn up. I have mine separated in colors, so I know exactly when it's turned up because the price responds to it very quickly. So this was a perfect setup, and this is what I look for when I'm going through charts. QBTS, as I said, quantum stock, she was running today. She started off the day here at $4.16. She's getting a lot of heat after market. Look at that. She's pushing very hard. Another quantum stock, RGTI. Now, RGTI ran very fast first thing in the morning. We saw this over at Pennybois. We pulled this chart up. We were watching this stock all day. But as you can see, she had a blast off, came down really hard and fast, right back to this support and resistance. That's why we draw them. We count on these to be where the stock changes its direction. But it stayed down here for quite a while and bounced around. It wasn't until about lunchtime she started to climb steady all day, got up onto this other support, and now she is climbing after market. There was one other one I saw just as the day ended. I tossed this chart up for everybody else to see. Now, this stock isn't a quantum computing company, but they have products for quantum computers. And it started running here at about, get away from there. That started running at about quarter to 3. We were here at $1.17. And she jumped up to $1.38. It's not a big run, but you can see it was running hard. She's come back down to the 200, and that's where she's sitting. That's her strong support right now. Now, I don't have a lot of faith in quantum for a long hold. I even don't want to play it for swings. I mean, somebody could make another comment about quantum computing. He could have got the ball rolling for a conversation amongst CEOs. So something could come out and all of a sudden it could fall again. So I don't want to swing it. I'll get in it if it makes runs like this and I can plan a trade to get in and get out and catch a centerpiece. Yeah, I'll do that. But outside of that, nope. I'm going to stay away from Quantum unless she is running hot. All right, now I want to show you a particular stock that I found. Let's jump back to Pennybois. I think it was ticker CPIX. Put that over here on my search bar. See what comes up. CPX right there. All right, now let's see. I brought up CPIX. First thing, let's see the first time I brought it up. Oh, that was way back in December. That was December. Gee whiz, we have looked at this a few times. December 13th. Today, right there. So we saw this take off, and the thing is that this stock is at all-time highs. So there are no historical price points to use to get supports and resistances, which makes it very difficult. How do you choose a price target to get out at if you don't have any supports and resistances? So I get very creative, and I'm going to show this to you here in a minute. I use an old surge and use my Fibonacci. The Fibonacci will give me supports and resistances, and then I drag that. But what I wanted to show you here was when I put up that Fibonacci, it came up with a big gap. The Fibonacci is a science that science can't prove. We know it works, we just don't know why it works. It is the science that creates our galaxies, a lot of flowers, seashells, that makes toilet water go down the toilet like that. When you stir your coffee and it goes into that cyclonic, the way tornadoes are made, hurricanes are made. There is all sorts of science. They have used it to predict how many bees there will be so many generations down the line. They have used it to cure an overpopulation of rabbits. I don't know how they do all of that. Well, they introduced the Fibonacci into the financial markets, and it does wonders. They're magic numbers that the price just likes to gravitate to. We don't know why. We don't care. We just do it because we know it works. So this is the Fibonacci that we laid out. The 50% mark is here in the middle. Here's the bottom. That's the bottom. That's where it starts. And the 100% mark is there. So what's over the 100% mark becomes really big. It jumps from 100 to 160%. And the price will respect this Fibonacci marks. I'm going to show this on the chart. But the whole thing here is that our price was down here at about $3.44. All right, you see that? All right, you see that. I'm going to take you back to the chart. So let's jump into CPIX. We haven't gotten there yet, so this play is still available for us. She was running very strong. She went from $2.31, and she had hit a high of $3.93, and I do believe she had been halted. I think we had one or two halts in this, and she kept climbing. And as you could see, the bar started getting bigger and bigger for her, so we were paying a lot of mind to her. Well, when I drew up my Fibonacci, let me go back 5 years. I'm wrong. So she is not at all-time highs. My bad there. We've got a high back here of 751, and you can see she's on an uptrend. So what did I do here? I took a surge. All right, I got that surge right here. I'll bet you if I unlock this and bring it here, yes, I see what I did. Sure did. So I took this surge right here from this point, the top of that bar, down to here. I dropped this here and created it. Then I dragged it up here, and on the second line, I dropped it. That became my supports and resistances. And you think, is that really going to work? We're back to the Fibonacci magic number thing here, folks. I don't know why it works. It just works. So this thing started running in my Fibonacci box. So I said, folks, this surge here could go from $3.80 up to $4.45. Well, you're looking at 70-cent run, 70-cent jump. A probable move that once she starts to move, she's not going to stop. She's going to go all the way to the top. And for every 1,000 shares you buy, you make a penny. You make $10 for every penny it moves. So in a 70-cent move, you would make $700 in that one play for 1,000 shares. If you could only afford 500 shares, you'd make $5 for every penny that the stock moved. So you'd have made $350 just in that play right there. So we would get in just over top, right there. That would be our entry. We would get out right there. That would be our exit. Somewhere over top of the support and somewhere underneath the resistance. Now you can see we already broke that once. There is a possibility that she can do this. I think there's a very strong possibility, and you may want to set this up as a play. Now this is the whole point to why I was showing you scalping. We get ahead of our plays. We don't buy it where the price is at. We wait for it to actually come to where we want it to be. So if the price is down here, let's say it's at $3.57, right there right now. I am not going to buy it right now. I would have bought it somewhere over the support down here at like, well, if it was at 348, I'd have gotten in at like 352, 354, somewhere there. But I'm not going to get in up at 360s because that can easily start to fall back down. Or it just isn't going to give me the proper risk-reward ratio because my stop loss goes right there. My entry is going to go right there. So what I am saying here is I am going to wait till the price comes all the way up to here. I'm going to wait until the price comes to me. If it actually steps into my trap and my buy order goes, well, so does my sell order because I put all my orders in at the same time. I put in my buy for however many shares I want. I know my target price. I put that in right now with my buy order, and I put in my stop loss all at the same time. That's called a bracket order. It's also called an OCO. One cancels the other because I've got two sell orders in. As soon as one sell order is hit, the other one is canceled automatically. So I've got a target for my profit, and I've got a target for a loss. And folks, you should be using stop losses. I know we hate them, but the first time you don't use it and end up losing a lot, you're going to wish you had that friend you hate. Get used to using stop losses on any of your plays, folks. If you've got a swing you're holding for months, still put in a stop loss. Bad news can come in like quantum, and it could drop 80%. Do you want to drop 80% and try to recover all of that? 80% is something like 1,300% that you've got to go back up to regain 80%. That's too much work. So you need a safety net to catch you in case anything ever causes that price to fall. You don't want to fall with it. So this is a great play to set up, folks. This is ticker CPIX. It is just a play that when the price starts getting a lot of volume and starts to run, this would be a gap it would fill of its own accord. So I like CPIX. All right, that was all I had set up. So let me share a few features about Pennybois over here. When you come over here, and don't tell me you can't come over here. You could come over and just watch. You don't actually have to talk. But honestly, folks, if you've got questions and you're thinking, God, this is such a stupid question. No. Look, folks, we've got so many beginning traders over here that they don't even know what a ticker is. Folks, that's not a dumb question. That's why we're here. That's the whole point. We want to help you come along. We want you to see what sort of people we are. So come to the free member page with all of your dumb questions and start asking them. Learn how we trade. Copy what we're doing. Not just copy the trades. Copy how we set up our trades. Learn what we're doing, and you can do it anywhere you want. We're not charging for this. This is just something you can come over here and learn. So I told you, as I am going through the day, we find hot charts. And one of the things I do particularly, because I guess I've got a talent at it, is once we find a stock, like back here, we found RJTE, right? She was starting to run. We brought everyone's attention to it, but what do we need if anybody's going to trade it? Supports and resistances. So that is 942 at 945. Took me 3 minutes. I went and got it. Draw up all my supports and resistances. I have got lines I have drawn myself. And I have got lines that the Fibonacci have drawn, and they're all valid. Believe me, folks, they're all valid. So now, once we have this set up, what I do is I throw in a special keyword, find it. Right there, FINDIT, all by itself. If you type find it up here in our search bar, now if I type find it, it's a shortcut for me. It brings up an entire sentence. Find it. So find it is a keyword that will bring up all of the charts that I have put supports and resistances on. So if you come over here and you say, so what are the stocks you're playing today? Well, instead of us trying to remember or tell you, all you've got to do is type the word find it up here, hit that search bar, and every one, SPI, CIPX, KIT, ACLO, ALUR, ERNA, we were playing that for a while, BBAI, PDYN. This is how quick and easy it is. I've tried to make it easy, folks. I give you supports and resistances so you don't have to wait for me to tell you this is your entry, this is your exit. Fact of the matter is, I really can't tell you. It's against the law. I'm not licensed in anything to tell you financial advice. So I show you how we get our entries, where they come from. I show you where we get our targets, and then I show you the charts so that you can do it all. I may not be able to tell you, but I can show you. And this gives you a chance to set up your plays anytime you want through the day, because you never know when an ember is going to reignite. So stocks we were looking at in the morning could start popping back in the afternoon after they've had their run, came down, bounced, and take off. Had that pullback. We like to look for those. So that's one great feature over here. Not to mention the search bar in itself. If you've got a ticker you're looking for, just put in the ticker. You can catch up with anything that is being said over here about that ticker. So there's no reason to scroll around. We try to make finding information easy. And as I said, if you have questions, drop your questions here. I am not the only person here. I am just one of the team members, folks. And this is my zone, working with the free member page, helping people find scalps, answering questions that I can answer. And if I can't answer them, we've got lots of team members over here that I just call. I just bring over here and they'll answer your question. No problem. We have, as I said, coaches you can rent for 30 days for $40. We have bigger packages where you get immediate alerts, watch lists, live streaming and teaching, plus the coaching that comes with it. But if you don't want the whole package, just get yourself a coach for a while. Get someone who can help you to do what you want to do. That's really what we all need, folks, is an education. There's not really a college you can go to learn how to trade. And who are you going to trust online? I'm not saying trust me, but I've been trying to earn your trust. I've been making videos for you for a couple years. You know I don't pump anything. I don't talk about a stock often enough to be pumping it, right? So I've tried to earn your trust, and now I'm over here helping people scalp. So come on over here for free and scalp with me. If you watch my videos, I would love to meet you. That's always exciting to me, folks. So we've got lots of information over here that you can plug into. We have free education provided by me in my videos. We also have free education provided by Pennybois. They have lots of videos too. If you go to their premium, they have lots of premium education that you can tap into. But try before you buy is a great thing, folks, and we're a community helping each other. It's not a competition. There's no secrets or spoofing or trying to mislead you. Everybody over here wants you to make money. They want to be the guy that showed you the hot stock. So we have lots of people bringing in charts all day long. We have scans coming in so we know what stocks are running. We have people putting out their own calls. Nobody can tell you what to get into. But isn't it nice to have 10, 50, 100 sets of eyeballs out there looking for you, bringing in stocks? And of course, I'm throwing up information all through the day, teaching you about different types of bullish and bearish patterns. I'll throw up information to teach you how to scalp, how to set up your risk and rewards, teaching you that the closer your stop loss is, the better chance you have of being kicked out of the play. The wider it is, the more room you give your play a chance to move around. And this is what we do. All day we are trading, teaching, conversating, having a good time over here, folks. We don't put up with any of that malarkey. There's no fighting. There's no name calling. There's no politics. There's none of that stuff. We're about trading over here. Now, we are open 24/7 like a lot of Walmarts are, but the crowd does change after hours. They do talk a lot of stocks over here after hours. I do see that, but they do like to talk about cars. They like to talk about food. Sometimes they talk about sports, gambling. You never know what's going to go on over here, but you can spark up a conversation, and team members will drop in. We have lots of team members that like to hang out in here at night. So if you've got questions about trading, this is a great place to come to in the evening. When we're not trading and it's just talking, you can get into a conversation with somebody and you can get a lot of answers. God, that sounds like a good thing to do. You should do it. Do it right now, as soon as you get done with this video. Speaking of getting done with this video, I think I've covered as much as I need to cover. I've given you a few things to consider, a few things to think about, and we've got a big catalyst just around the corner, folks. We are 1 week away, actually 6 days, from a change of control for the nation. Trump has taken office. Last time he took office, the market just went into jubilee. It really did, folks. And maybe, just maybe, this is the crouch before the pounce. I see a lot of things going sideways on charts, and then they take this dip for no reason, hit these bad lows, and off of that low, it looks like a cat jumping because it goes way higher, like it had to crouch to pounce. Well, maybe this is the long crouch before the pounce when Trump comes in. We could see a big run. I'm expecting a lot of changes, so I'm expecting a lot of opportunities. So should you. Great spending my time with you. Now I'm going to go spend time with, well, I'm sure some more charts. It's a problem. I know. Thank you, folks. Remember, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See ya.